Well, hey there. Again, not sure why I'm surprised when the camera's on. Anyways, I digress. Welcome to Movie Community College. I am the professor, and I want to talk to you about a film called Veer Zaara. I watched the film. I got it on DVD. I did not get subtitles on it, and I'm going to do my best to tell you kind of what I thought of the movie. I think, first of all, let's just kind of start with an overview as I could kind of decipher with the language barrier. It looks like SRK is a member of the Indian Air Force. I think he's a pilot of it, a fighter pilot, and he's off going to some kind of festival in India. And then we have Zara, who is also she's Pakistani, and she comes from a what looks like a wealthy family, maybe political, maybe there's some kind of political power in Pakistan. And her grandma, her Bibi, has died and wants her ashes taken to a certain spot in India. And I thought this was a kind of a touching idea because it kind of calls to the idea, I think, of when India was one, when Pakistan was not there, and it was one nation. Because I think what could easily get lost is the Pakistanis are Indians that are just misguided, in my opinion, by an extremist ideology. So you have these two different worlds, and there's always kind of been tension, as far as I understand, between India and Pakistan, especially in light of what's going on with the Uri attacks and the things that have transpired in the news here. So you have this woman who is on her way to this festival to sprinkle grandma's ashes. And you have SRK, who's on his way to the festival, and a collision happens. And we have this bus overturned, there's an accident, and Zara is now kind of caught, and SRK's there for the moment, and he rescues her. He pulls her out of the bus, and they have a moment. They share a moment. Everybody is okay. They share a moment. They're ready to go. And she leaves one of her, it was an ankle banglet behind, and SRK has it. And she kind of motions to him, hey, just go ahead and keep it. So what the movie is really kind of SRK's Kara. Veer has been smitten by her. He's fallen in love with her, and he's now willing to do anything to go and claim that love, right? The problem is he's Indian. Zar's Pakistani, and she's not only is she Pakistani, but she's of a political family from Lahore who has this marriage arranged, as I can guess, from the film, to a political kind of family that will help boost their power. And so she has a fiance, and that she's going to be dutiful to go and marry, and to keep the family going. SRK does what any good love-smitten young man does, is he's going to cross over and go find her. And we have basically this Romeo and Juliet love story of these two people who should not be together, but love defies all things and overcomes all things, and it's a message of hope, of love, of, for that one person you would do anything for, like spend 22 years in prison. So in SRK's exploits, he gets imprisoned. He's imprisoned, he's examined, he's roughed up, and so we see this film kind of as a series of flashbacks telling the story, which I have to say they did a good job with, because when you start doing flashbacks, it can get messy real quick when you start time jumping, especially with somebody who doesn't speak the language. You could get lost very easy, and I think I was able to kind of find everything until this this lawyer finds the case, and she's trying to clear some things up and make a name for herself, and she gets a hold of his case, Veer's case, and they're trying to figure out, is there any way you can prove who you are? his family has all fled. They all live in India, and they're trying to find somebody who can vouch for him. So we have this kind of story playing on. That's kind of the plot of it. And ultimately, destiny brings everybody together, right? You're going to end up being with whoever you want to be with. Now, what did I think about the film? What are my critiques on it? I thought that this would be an interesting film to watch in light of all the troubles that are going on. I found it hopeful. The possibility of hope, I think, can drive us very, very strong and far into to face adverse conditions. I like the story of never giving up, especially when it comes to the somebody that you love. I think that's endearing. I think when I look at SRK as an actor, especially in this role, I thought he did a good job. I thought some of the flashback moments, I thought he did a good job in the prison. And when we saw some of their flashback moments as they're telling the story, one of the things that just really strikes me about him is if you take SRK and you put him in a traditional Bollywood role where there's singing, there's dancing, there's that kind of optimistic love, he's outstanding in it. He truly is outstanding. I think it really plays to his strength. I think from a Westerner looking in at his work, you see him in that setting and you think, wow, this guy is gifted of doing these things, especially when it comes to a romance side of things. I think where he begins to crumble a bit is if you just take that, you strip that away and you're trying to now make him be an actor, make him be, this is your character. This is, there is no singing, there is no dancing, there is no colors around you to kind of, I think it's a different world for him to operate in. And I think sometimes it's just not as good as a performance as it is when you get into the typical Bollywood singing and dancing things. All that being said, this was a really good film. It was a really good film. It was. I couldn't imagine what it would be like to be Indian and watch this film now with the attacks and the scrimmages that are going on. Because it harkens back to this idea of unification. I think of love. And we find ourselves in a place that's very kind of counterintuitive to that, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't have the feelings you have, not at all. I agree with a lot of the feelings that my Indian brothers and sisters are having over the terrorism and attacks that have happened to their country. But man, this movie I just thought was so compelling to me. It was so compelling to watch this thing and think in my head, like, what if this was going on now? What if they were putting this film out now? This would be such an amazing story to see somebody. Could you imagine now the story happening? Where a Indian soldier is willing to go to prison to try to get the Pakistani woman he loves. It was mind-blowing. It was really mind-blowing. I truly enjoyed the film. I thought it was the best SRK performance that I've seen so far, and I've seen him in maybe 4 things now, and I truly enjoyed it. I thought it was a great film. I loved the ending of the film. I loved seeing the dude from Gangs of Wasseypur with hair. It's like I had to stop and go, who is it? I know that guy from somewhere. Who is it? And I had to go look. Oh, it's him. It's the Wasseypur gangster guy. I'm glad to see him getting work. Overall, I give the movie an A. I think it was enjoyable, and I think if I could speak to like my fellow Americans, if you get an opportunity to see this film, watch it. I think you're going to see some great performances in it. I think it's going to give you a good idea of culture, of the kind of strife that is going on and the things, to be able to overcome that. I mean, it was pretty amazing. I mean, I think the American equivalent would be a U.S. soldier saying, I'm going to Yemen because I met this girl there that I absolutely got to be with, and guess what? Terrorist nation. What do you do? I mean, there could be such shock and awe to an American soldier saying, no, I'm going to Yemen, dude. I don't care. I don't care what it costs me. I had this moment with this woman, and it was amazing, and I love her. I mean, Americans would be like, you're crazy, dude. You're crazy. Anyways, I'm rambling on quite a bit here. The film was really good, and I have more SRK films to watch, and we'll do movie reviews on them, and we'll get them posted up here. Thank you so much for watching, and if you would you please subscribe to the channel? That way you can stay up to date on all of our latest videos. Thank you so much. Peace.